sent a lengthy message, but quite profound and serious. He says, our media says that there are signs of a youth being terrorists. That is, praying regularly, following religious obligations, not listening to music, reciting the Quran. And they give the solution, that is the media in his country, they give the solution that participation in a cultural and national programs which involve immoralities, that is, shirk and other sins. They are broadcasting these regularly. I never felt this much tightness or depression in my chest before. I feel like being suspected, that I am being a suspect all the time. I am panicking, and that something might happen to me or to harm me. This question is quite serious, and most likely Brother Abdullah is living in a non-Muslim country, or a country that has a majority of Muslims or a minority. And this is the trend all around the world. Demonizing Islam. Demonizing Muslims. See, if you fail to make them all in one melting pot, where the Muslims would forget and neglect their obligations, they would abandon their Quran, they have no submission to Allah's will, no being steadfast on Islam, then you have a problem. The way they see to solve such a problem is to open all gates of desires and lust, so that the Muslims would forget who they really are. And doing so, you have to indulge them in lusts, in mixing, in music, in things that are evil in Islam and also in other religions. So Brother Abdullah is feeling tight in his chest. He's feeling intimidated. And this is exactly what they want. They want to play on the string of fear. This is what they had done in the US since 2001. Till date, almost 15 years, and it's still going on. Whenever they want to control the masses, they bring the issue of terror. If they want to pass someone who's not qualified to rule or to govern, they bring the issue of terror. We will protect you. We will defeat them. We will do this. It's us or them. They keep on playing the same old record, so that they would keep non-Muslims intimidated and afraid, and would give them a carte blanche to do whatever they want. We know of the recent scandal, which Muslims have been saying for almost 15 years, that there is no weapons of mass destructions in Iraq, and there is nothing to prove it. Now the government inquiries proved that their leaders were lying, were falsifying facts, were fabricating things. The result? The killing of hundreds of thousands of innocent Muslims, men, women, and children. And the displacement of hundred thousands more, and maybe millions in Iraq, in Iran, and elsewhere. And we see the chaos existing nowadays in Iraq and in Syria, all of because they're planning, their actions, who claim to protect the world from terror. Yet they are the initiators of terror. No one brings them to court, because the Muslims are asleep. The Muslims are not united. The Muslims are powerless. And we are the reason behind this. There is no way Muslims can regain their dignity, their honor, without going back to their religion. This is what the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam. Allah would enforce humiliation upon you until you go back to your religion. And going back to your religion does not mean blowing up people or terrorizing innocents or doing radical things that do not relate to Islam. This is not part of Islam. But at the same time, it does not mean that you put your head down and concede to the disbelievers to ride on your back and to control you. So, Brother Abdullah, what to do? Akhi, look at the Quran and the Sunnah and cascade it on your life. What would the Prophet ﷺ do if he were in your place? What would the companions do? We know that in the beginning of Islam there were 13 years in Mecca, and the Prophet was not allowed to take arm or to fight or to defend himself nor his companions. So what did he do? He used tolerance, he used wisdom, he preached to the way of Allah Azza wa Jalla and called people to Islam. He was relentless in calling people to Islam with all the threats around him. This is what you should do. You should not bow down to them, but you should not go to being extreme and radical, because this is not what the Quran says. So again and again, we always repeat the same phrase. Islam is a religion of strength without violence, a religion of mercy without weakness, and a religion of pride without arrogance. If you manage to strike the balance, inshallah, you will have your chest expanding and you will feel that you are the most happiest person on earth, despite all what you see around you and despite all of these lies and intimidation that they say in the media.